Hey, welcome to Mary Shores Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. I appreciate your subscriptions. Please continue to do so. Thank you for your questions and your comments. I do read them and respond. So please subscribe when you see these videos and help me out. Censorship, if Kamala Harris wins, will be devastating. And it will take effect immediately. So please help us out with your subscription. A couple of things I want you to be aware of. This is not fear porn. This is like, you better get ready because anything can happen at this point. I'm referring to the Russian-Ukraine war. And now 10 to 11,000 North Korean troops have been sent over to fight the Ukrainians. That is to offset Russia's heavy losses to date of over 600,000 soldiers have been killed or severely wounded in this war. That's just in 2 years. It's absolutely ludicrous. So now we're having 11,000 North Korean troops sent there. What is the motivation for Kim Jong-un to aid Putin, and why did Putin ask him for help? And I'm guessing only. The losses are far greater than what's been divulged. Also, in return for soldiers and the escalation of North Korean soldiers and they're acting as mercenaries, I'm suspecting that Putin is not only sending over cash, but food as well to North Korea. And on Kim Jong-un's part, North Korea has not been involved in any major conflict for 40, 50 years. So his military has no combat experience per se. They're good at killing their own people, but in actual war, they haven't done it. So I'm guessing that he is sending over his military, and you will see an escalation of that, to get combat experience. And the ones that survive will come back and be able to relay their experiences, teach the remainder of their group what's going on, how to offset the war and everything else. That's my guess. Kim Jong-un probably is also getting some more technical military equipment, radar and all that kind of stuff in return for this. And that's just a guess. So keep an eye on that. Ukraine is not faring any better. They've lowered the conscription age from 27 to 25. And in my opinion, it should be all hands on deck. You're fighting for your own country. Why are you waiting till you're, 25 to fight? It should be anybody that's capable of defending the homeland, whether it's, fixing a truck or rendering first aid or delivering supplies or picking up a rifle and fighting. It should be all hands on deck, men, women, and children. It should absolutely be that. The United States has stated openly that if the North Koreans are on the front lines fighting, then the escalation, here it comes, they will take the gloves off and allow Ukraine to use the long-range weaponry that has been supplied, and they just got a reload of 420 billion American taxpayer dollars being sent to them. So they're saying if they come in, you are free to use the long-range howitzers to strike inside of Russia. The combat aircraft, all the other missiles are free to go into Russia and strike military targets. It's an escalation that we don't want. And 50,000 Ukrainian soldiers have deserted their posts so far. And they're saying it's safer to be in prison than to be on the front line with no food, water, shelter, and out of ammo. So why should we be there if we're not being resupplied and relieved? So it's a really bad situation. The only people that are getting wealthy are the arms dealers on both sides. It's got to come to a stop, and we're going broke. So keep an eye on that escalation. That could drag in the other NATO allies very easily, especially with an escalation of North Korean troops. If it keeps going up and Kim Jong-un says he will give Putin as many soldiers as he needs, they will escalate it up to divisions to break Ukraine's back before Trump takes office. That's the key. So keep that in mind. Now, going to Israel. This is the fuse that is lit and is going to explode. And it's going to explode in a big way. You've heard me talk about the time for Israel and Iran to go to war, and it could escalate into a nuclear war. You've heard me say that. It is to that point right now. You've also heard me say that Joe Biden's betrayal of Israel will be breathtaking. I said that earlier this year, and he has done that. They have released aerial photographs, information, and attack plans that Israel had on Iran, and they sent it, released it to the Iranian people, the government. So now they're aware of the plans by Israel to attack Iran. Who did this in the Defense Department? Well, you already have one spy, Robert Mallory, that is currently under suspension. He's not in jail for being a spy for Iran and an Iranian sympathizer in the Biden administration, a retread from Obama, who advocated the nuclear arms treaty with Iran, which they totally did, but he gave them all the information. You still have at least 4 other bureaucratic positions that are known Iranian sympathizers, and the FBI is investigating it, trying to get down to the bottom who released secret information. That's treason, folks. And then you wonder why Israel does not trust the United States. And when I told you 2 years ago that they were doing practice bombing runs on the underground nuclear facilities, and Blinken told Iran what the plans were and how they're rehearsing the bombing, Israel stopped cooperating with the United States. And you see that when they said you can't go into Rafah, and they killed Sinwar in Rafah. So now the United States is kept out of the dark, and Biden is withholding much needed arms and ammunition from Israel, demanding that a truce be signed and stop the bombing and everything else. But he is blackmailing Israel, saying, you can't do this. You cannot attack the oil fields in Iran. You cannot attack the nuclear facilities. Why is a sitting American president protecting Iran, its oil fields, and its nuclear underground enrichment? Why? I have no idea, other than somebody's being bought off, paid off, or they want Iran to get the bomb and destroy Israel. Those are the only things. Israel is going to have to make a choice. Now, Donald Trump says, hit the enrichment underground bunkers for the nuclear. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. And I agree. Not that they need my opinion or my agreement. But if Iran goes nuclear and they can prove that they have the bomb, Saudi Arabia is going to demand to go nuclear as well. Those two hate each other. So if Saudi Arabia goes nuclear, the Emirates are going to want to go nuclear, and everybody else. And then South Korea is also going to want to go nuclear, because North Korea has a bomb, multiple bombs. So things are going to be escalating dramatically. And now Israel is on plan B for attack mode. If they hit the oil fields and set them on fire, the world economy will absolutely collapse. People will be panicking. Gasoline will be $7, $8, $10 a gallon. The economies, especially the United States, with its unlimited credit card, will be at risk. There is a lot riding on here. And I want you to be prepared for that. Number 3, you have China actively doing live fire exercises surrounding Taiwan and doing multiple flyovers, escalating. And now they are saying, they are telling the Chinese people, the Chinese military, get on war footing because it's going to happen. All of this could happen before the election or just after the election, depending on who wins. If Harris wins, then World War III will break out because they will not back Israel and it'll go on its own. China will invade Taiwan and Russia will take over Ukraine. And our economy will collapse. Pretty scary. Very scary. Something to think about. This is not fear porn. You can look at it, read it all you want. We have traitors in this Biden administration. He is bought and sold out. We know that. He owes the Chinese. They own him. And they're doing everything possible to make America fall, especially with the open immigration, the gangs. And I said this 4 years ago, that with the open immigration, gangs, cartels will use their power, their authority to set up in states to be like a feudal kingdom and run, say, Arizona, Texas, whatever, to cooperate with the Democrat Party, should there be a civil war. And I believe that's coming as well. There's so much going on, your head could explode thinking about all the possibilities. This is why you need to be prepared for everything. This is why you need to get ready. And now they're saying Trump's Hitler, going right back to the escalation to what fueled the 2 assassination attempts. Has anybody thought, well, how the reaction would be, say Trump is assassinated? Have you thought of the repercussions of that? Has that dim bulb, cackling Kamala thought about that? If Trump is assassinated before the election, and say even after the election, and he wins, what do you think the reaction will be by the American people? I can tell you firsthand. People will say, kill them all. Go after Biden, go after Harris, go after all the Democrats, all the never Trumpers, and everybody that voted for Harris, and we will be in a civil war. It's something very scary to think about, and we are that close to doing it. We are in a really dangerous, dangerous time. This is why you need to get ready. Start stocking up on food, folks. If you haven't already, stop with all the games, the bowling, the after work drinks, the $7 coffees and everything, and start investing in the simplest stuff. Batteries, long-term food, like you see right here stacked up. Granola bars, all the simplest stuff to put food in your belly when the price of gasoline goes to $10 a gallon, should the oil fields be hit, on purpose or by mistake. It is very treacherous, dangerous times. Load up while you can. And no, do not go crazy using your credit card to buy all this stuff. Don't do that. Stay in your budget, pay your bills. But it's foretold. We're going to have war, and it's going to be ugly. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. We have very limited Wi-Fi here out in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of difficult to get uploaded. I'm trying my best, but I certainly do thank you. Greg out.